Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing there, AT? Good to have you, my man. Haven't been able to watch everything, but how's Wenkau doing? Well, we haven't had a subsequent bombardment at Wenkau this turn. We did last turn, where we had about 600 or so casualties inflicted there, which was quite nice. We will be bombarding it though in the turn after this one, so that's going to be quite good. There we go. Not too terribly much for us to actually do over here on this turn. It's one of those when it's more so a transit turn than anything else. But there is important things to decide upon here. Namely, the Shoho is going to be remaining in Japan a little bit longer. We are doing some resizing there. Yep, so she's going to remain here in Japan a little bit longer. I will have her dock up just in case. Okay. Now I would like you to load up some supplies and head out there to Chichijima. At Chichijima we do have the destroyed tenders and etc. So we're going to have a fast transport from Yansuyu. Ansuyu? Yeah, the Ansuyu. Take some supplies down that way. More planes in the air is always good. Yeah, exactly so, exactly so. The MKB is going to be basically residing in Kopang a little bit longer as well. Okay. I'm somewhat tempted to have some of these destroy tenders head out elsewhere. The question is going to be, where do I really want them? It could be potentially useful to have them. I might have some move down here towards this area, really. It does make me wonder. They could be of use. Just trying to figure out where I need them right now. What I'll do, though, is, let's see. Support. Right, so that's destroy tender, and these are the auxiliaries. These guys are quite handy. They do come in useful. What I'm going to do then is have... I'm going to have some of them head up here to Paramashiro Jima in anticipation of the future. The future I'm talking about there is, once we do potentially make a bid towards illusions, that and once we do move Shoho out that way, we will have to have destroyers alongside her. How you doing there, Marky Mark? Marky Mark Wahlberg. How you doing there, my dude? Okay, so we have 3 ships remaining here, destroy tender and 2 AGs. Now, let's see. I definitely have the facilities over here to truck for most things. They might be welcomed at Roinema, but I would potentially have them move further south, actually. Luganville's not a bad idea for them to be based at, but then again, they would be under potential threat. But, well, actually, I'm not going to have them based at Luganville, per se. I could have them head to Tarawa, but Tarawa does present something of a little bit of a worrisome position in there. So I'll have these guys head out to Roinema. We'll be sure to find better placement for them in the future, but it's just all about getting these additional support elements out there, really. Which is quite good. Okay. Wow, you're actually going to make it to Naha. That's amazing. I didn't think you'd be able to make it to Okinawa. Okay, so we do have the Ansoyus, actually. Excellent, excellent. So we can have these guys actually begin conversions. The good news is, even as patrol boats, they're still able to carry cargo. They still have space for files and cargo. Obviously, yeah, obviously only a third of what they can normally haul. But that's not bad. It's perfectly serviceable. And the fact is they then become armed with, well, AA, depth charges, the ability to carry mines, which is very good. Obviously the depth charges are exceptionally important. They have the 8cm guns increased to the 120. Well, millimeter, 80mm to 120mm. They're just really quite good. They're just really all-round excellent patrol boats, really. How you doing there, Win People? Good to see you, my dude. Watching on off, having problems with the computer that needs my attention on a Sunday. Oof, boo. That's unfortunate. Okay, so we're going to have these guys convert over to the patrol boats. A number 6 is always going to be very handy, especially these type. But these guys are going to be the lifeblood of the Empire towards the extremities, really. The reasoning being I can have them carry at least 1,000 tons of supply, and they're able to more or less look after themselves against most submarines, really, which is quite handy. Yeah, these guys have been converted over. It's going to take some time for them to be made ready completely, but that's okay. I could potentially have them move out to, possibly Kagoshima or Kagoshima? Kagoshima. There's a part of me that wants to say Kagoshima, but I know it's not right. I ain't doing Renza. I absolutely love this series, almost like living it. Well, this is it, isn't it, really? It's the fact that we are doing this day by day. It really is just amazingly interesting. Each new turn is definitely a chance to actually bring about some sort of change in the war, really. So we're going to have these two band boys actually head out to Kagoshima. There's a part of me that really wants to say Kagoshima, and I know it's not right, but I still want to say it, and it's become something of an issue. Right, so we're going to have them head over there to Kagoshima. They can repair over there in Kagoshima. We do have size 10 repair shipyard over there, which handles about 10,000 tons. But, also we do have a few ships over here at Naha, so I'd like to spread out the work there, really. Okay. So we do have some additional Cartway summons over here, the 4th Sentai, sorry. Now, these band boys are in a weird position, because I can't really make that much use of them, really. Not tremendous amounts of use can come from them due to the fact that they are restricted headquarters. In China at the moment, it was a shame that we were rejected from Nanning, but it's not the end of the day there. Well, it's not the end of the world there. We still have a fair number of troops here. Obviously much reduced, but we can have them recover. I will have them actually still remain on the combat operations mode. They're going to hand for Lang Son, which isn't too bad. I mean, I do have the actual engineers on Lang Son, which is excellent now. So we're going to have them follow. There's a fair amount of disruption fatigue, really. They will recover from this. So they're going to be heading out that way. Now, ideally, we did see that they had, what, about 3 cores then of Chinese forces, which is, I think a core is roughly equivalent to a Japanese division in terms of, like, numbers at AV, kinda, but not really, due to the fact that Japanese divisions do have organically significantly more artillery, significantly more firepower. Obviously, when it comes down to the Allied divisions have even more firepower than a Japanese division. But at least the Japanese don't surrender, which is very nice. So if we take a look over here at Pakoi, you can see at Pakoi we do have 62 assault value, which is quite nice. These guys don't have any engineers in them, embedded in them, so they won't entrench themselves any further. But that's fine. I could potentially make use of this unit from Pakoi. The only issue is the road network. That's fine. But yeah, in regards to Nanning, it sucks losing that many men, but if it makes him overconfident, then that's fine. The fact is, he has moved 3 cores from Lushao over here to Nanning, which is going to be quite interesting. Now, true, then there's major roads there, so he would be able to make 30 miles per day if he was to march back, but it's still going to take him some time to head back. I mean, that's what, 40, I think it's 45 miles. I forget how big the hexes are. It's either 40 miles or 45 miles, I forget. How you doing there, Lightfoot Paul? It's good to have you, my man. But yeah, if we assume 45 hexes, that's 90. Obviously, then another 45 to be in Lushao. It's gonna take him some time to really get through there. As you know, it might be 45, 90. I think it's about 90 miles there. Something in that sort of region. I forget how big these hexes are. But either way, he might make, well, he will be able to make good progress, but it doesn't particularly matter that much. We are still looking to assemble our forces to breach Hanyang and bring about the doom of China there, really. But that's going to take some time. You can see that we do have the 12th Division, 15th Division, the 4th Brigade, and the 6th Division marching south. The 4th Brigade is making, They have a little bit more progress on the other divisions there, really. You can see that the 12th and the 15th were... I think they were involved in the attack at Changshachi, so a little bit beaten up, but not tremendously so. But if I bring the actual drawing tool over here, then... make some use of it. Okay. I need to recalibrate my mouse as well, it's been all junky. So that's something to do later on. But yeah, if we take a look over here then. So, obviously we were ejected from Nanning. Now, ideally, he follows over here to Lang Son. If he moves into Indochina with Chinese forces, I believe it does unlock Thai reinforcements. I believe they are divisions. I'm not entirely sure, but Thai divisions, not exactly fantastic, but definitely worth having. Having additional forces would be very, very useful. It definitely alleviates a lot of issues there, such as garrison and just really having additional forces for like Malaya. Well, not so much Malaya, but Burma really. But also in China, quite handy. But, aye. So, what I'm hoping is going to do then is have these cores remain at remain at Nanning, which I imagine is likely. We did see this force finally arrive over here at Chikyang. We did originally see this force over here. It then moved from this position along the road down to here. I was kind of hoping it would have headed down here, but unfortunately not. As the case definitely does appear to be, it is over here at Chikyang. But that's fine by me. Chikyang would have been nice to have taken by the air, but it doesn't particularly matter that much. We still have other opportunities here in China. Namely, Tugun is now out of 10 detection and completely open, which is fantastic. And that one is the one that is worth significantly more. But in some ways, this has actually improved our position over here. He still has 2 units over here. He has a 1 base force over here at Chikyang. He's moved out 3 cores down from here. I think as to what he has at Quaid Lin, maybe a core or 2. I mean, let's take a look. How many numbers? Yeah, probably 1 or 2 cores there. Maybe 3 cores, something like that. But if we take a look at the road network, there's a major road there, of course, but it's going to take him a little bit longer there to march up towards Tugun, which is good news. And do you produce supplies in China, or does it have to come from Japan? Both. We produce supply in China, and we don't need tremendous amounts from Japan, but sometimes you will need an influx of supply. It depends on how heavy the fighting is. Like at Hankow, I have 51,000 tons of supply. 36,000 tons of supply over here to Wuchang. At Changsha itself, we have 20,000 tons of supply, so we're not lacking for supplies, I can say that one. I think China begins the game with maybe about 75,000 total supply. Something like that. So, our supply budget is significantly larger than his. Doesn't mean that we can just go about willy-nilly. But it is one of those of where if we are fighting and where it's spending supply at the same rate, it's actually worse for him than it is for us. But indeed, going back to the other question in regards to Wenkao, we will be bombarding Wenkao next turn. We do have the bombardment force over here then, of the Chokai Suzuya Commando. They'll be heading in there alongside the Hokazi and Asago to bombard with their guns and hit Wenkao. We did do some good, well, we caused some good damage last turn. I think I will have these forces recommence the bombardment themselves. It would be nice to try and put some additional firepower there. It would be nice as well to see roughly how strong his forces are, so we could gain really a more accurate measure of how strong he is. The 4th Mortar Battalion I'm not going to have open fire, the reason being I don't particularly want to have them take too much in the brunt of return fire. On a scale of 1 to kill it with fire, how much are you looking forward to? You know, I've heard about it, I've not even watched any of the trailers. I've heard mixed things about it though. I've heard a lot of people saying it's going to be awful, but I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I've honestly not even looked into it, so no idea. I don't know what my opinion is on it, really. Okay, those forces are going to open fire. I'm going to have the bombardment, well, the mortars hold off. Actually, yeah, we'll have them hold back. They don't have the greatest bit of range. These guys are still set to defense, which is fine. I cannot recall what sort of entrenchment level he was at Wenkao. He's got currently 35,000 men there. It's going to be interesting to see how he's doing on the supply front there. And of course, Wenkao does have a heavy industry and the light industry. He does produce resources there, at least he did produce resources there at quite a great rate. But it has been some time since he's been able to produce resources. I can't remember the date at which we actually began the siege of Wenkao. But it has been a good number of days. Well, probably a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I cannot recall. How long have we been here at Wenkao? I think we've been here maybe a month, if that's fair to say. Maybe something around that sort of time frame, maybe less than that. Feels like a long time. But you can imagine that each unit of industry there is using resources. The heavy industry obviously uses fuel as well. So that's slowly but surely burning through his resources. Of course, it is producing supply, but eventually that will end. From the trailer, I'd say midway, too much Pearl Harbor in my history movie. Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. I suppose I can get a good idea of what it's going to look like from that. Okay, those guys are marching to the north to chase them down. That's fine. They may attempt to run away. I'm somewhat tempted to leave a unit over here to Pingxiang, or have them head down here to actually try and prevent a retreat. Rough terrain, clear terrain. What's the roads like? It is a major road. I am going to have the Gyuko Naval Guard turn around and head back here then. Now, it would be nice to have them potentially involved in the combat at Hanyang, but the unit it's not large enough really. So what I'm going to do then is have it move over here to prevent these Chinese forces from escaping us. We'll make good progress, as will they, as we are marching on major roads. So I'd like to try and stop them from crossing the road over here, really. Crossing the river. If they cross the river, they're crossing into a Naval Guard unit. It has still 60 AV, so it's not the largest unit, but it's not the smallest unit either, so it should give them a good pace in. I don't want him to interrupt anything going on over here. I don't want him to be aware of what's going on either and the number of troops moving. We can take Hanyang. We can certainly take it, if we can get our forces in position. You can see that we have about 50,000 or so troops, about 48 to 50,000 troops in total that are marching. Obviously, a good chunk of that is the combat effective, so you can see we have the front line troops there, 25,700 and, what was that, 25,700 and something? So we're looking to have them head to this position over here. We already do have the 104th Division over here, joined by the 23rd Army. It's good to have an actual core command over here as well, planning. Especially the fact that it is able to begin planning for Hanyang. We do have the 38th Division over here, as well as the additional artillery. Now, the heavy artillery is heading to Singapore, ultimately, but we still have the 21st Mortar Battalion, and we have the 2nd RF Gun Battalion. The 2nd RF Gun Battalion isn't exactly useful, but they'll come in handy, especially if we are fighting here on the defensive. So they could still have their uses. So yeah, we're looking to build up a force of about 5 divisions and a brigade if we can do so, really. A brigade would be a very nice force to leave behind as a garrison or to leave behind here just to ensure that our supply lines stay open. But ultimately, it's all about subterfuge, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So the actual defeat at Nanning does actually give us good cover there for units moving south. He will have more than likely been able to see our division move out to the actual Hex. I'm sure he's going to be aware of that. As we can see the movement of his forces, if we do oppose them normally, he'll be able to see that of our own. So that's going to be very good there. Now, I'm hoping that we'll be able to make the best use of that. We do have 2 tanker regiments that are going to be landing at Canton next turn. We do have 3 tanker regiments heading up from Malaya. We have potentially another tanker regiment or 2 that could potentially come from the island of Luzon, obviously the Philippines there. So, we're hoping to assemble a mighty host at Canton. Obviously, they'll be headed north to rendezvous with the infantry divisions. But what we're hoping for then is a good few divisions, a good chunk of armour as well, and then obviously having all the armour that we do at Changsha as well as the divisions at Changsha. The ideal situation is basically we're able to cross the river at Hanyang. Obviously that's going to result in a shock attack, but that resultant shock attack might be potentially enough to kick him out of the actual city, and really just completely change the entire dynamics over there. We'd have the armour to be able to give us that effective fighting power in the clear terrain, especially against superior numbers, but also the fact of their movement capabilities is exceptional. Like on the major roads they can move 60 miles per day. I'm pretty sure it's about 60 miles per day. So the thing is, even if he's moving along the major roads, marching at 30 miles per day would more than definitely catch him. So it puts him in a very difficult position there. He obviously could use strategic transport via the rails or even via the roads. I don't know how it works with the Allies in regards to strategic transport across roads, but he could use strategic transport to move via the rail line to Tigan, which is why we're looking to actually capture that with paratroopers, really. Chikyang would have been nice as well, but Tigan will definitely be the one that matters more so, really. And if we take a look at the train there, Wooded Rough and Wooded Rough over here too. If he moves out to Chikyang, I'm going to be very happy. But in some ways, it might be worth more to have Taeyun with both paratroopers. We are sending paratroopers towards Langson as well, and they'll arrive in the near future. Only a few days out, really. But the actual paratroopers that we do have based at Hankow, they can of course reach Taeyun. And they could reach beyond Taeyun, actually. But if we had both paratrooper units actually in the city there, I mean, that could give us about... I mean, let's see, the second raiding regiment there. I don't know if it's in the full... Yeah, it looks like the full units here. So we're looking at 39 AV there. The Yokosuka 3rd SLF. Let's see. Right, there's an element of it. There's another element of it over there. This element over here has 30 assault value. This element of the Yokosuka 3rd SLF has... Yeah, 0 assault value, as it's just a support units. Still, right, these are the Yokosuka 2nd SLF, so these are different units. But yeah, so we're looking at about 30 odd AV. So if we had both paratrooper regiments, or both paratrooper units I should say, into Yon, that would give us about 60 AV total. Obviously that is times 3 terrain, so it would be a pretty difficult obstacle for him to move out there. But of course, as to how we'd approach the situation, I don't know if we'd move in there with the intent of fighting to the death. I think we could look at moving in there with the intent to be able to pull our troops out via air transportation as well, actually. But we'll see. We do have options that are growing. I mean, this is it. The fact that he has all these men over here at Changsha, that is a big, big supply drain. Especially if they're involved in fighting. There is a part of me that is considering the usage of further bombardment over here, but I don't think it's worthwhile. It might be potentially worth in the near future. Like if we were to have an attack launched at Hanyang, it's one of those of, we could potentially bombard, but then it probably would be better just to save a supply and attack once he was crossing the river there, really. But we'll see. He's cut the rail line over here in 2 places, but ultimately it doesn't matter that much. I'm already heading out there to fix the situation, so that's no big deal to me. Yep, they'll arrive tomorrow. That force there is marching to the north. We're looking to assemble a great host at Luoyang to begin the march upon Nanyang as well. These forces are training for Nanyang too, which is good news. What I might do then is have these forces begin to plan for Xi'an. God damn, I need to recalibrate this mouse. Okay. So you can see that we do have some other forces over here. These guys are on strategic movement. So what we're going to do is unpack them. So I do have all these infantry brigades over here that can head into Nanyang. And there we go, we rebuild that unit, and we have the newly formed 69th Division. Now that is 353 assault value. But you know what? It's completely usable. I'm going to look forward to making it, making great use of it. So they can begin to plan for Nanyang as well. So we'll take a look over here then. 68th Division. Chengchao and Hankou. Obviously, we'll have to have them merge in the near future. But yep, they're going to head to Luoyang as well. We're going to look to assemble a decent bit of AV to go attack Nanyang. The good news about Nanyang is the fact that it's an open, clear terrain. It makes it significantly easier for me. Now, I would like these IGA engineers to head out elsewhere. They could be very useful at Changsha, but it might be handy to have some engineers over here with us as we advance on Nanyang. Would be handy to diminish his... Well, then again, is it really? It could be handy to have them diminish the fortifications there at Nanyang. But I might want to have them down here at Changsha. More than that. I think what we'll do then is we'll have them march to Luoyang. They can always be moved out in the near future. We can make use of the major roads then, actually. So let's see, what else do we have? Those guys are going to go and rest. 69th is moving out. 8th Independent Mixed Brigade. I need a garrison of about 80 AV here. The 101st NCPC is 51 AV. 8th Independent. Right, these temp divisions... It's not too far off, is it really? Not tremendously far off. Right, what do we have here in terms of headquarters? So you have a command radius of 1 due to the fact that you're just a core headquarters. So in fact what I'm going to do then is have that head over here to the north. Now, the NCPC army headquarters only a command radius of 1, unfortunately. So I'm going to have them head towards Luoyang as well, actually. Would be nice to have some additional support there. Okay. So they're going to march out. 52nd's going to march out. Head for Luoyang. Where's the rest of that unit? Chengcha Wuchang. Nanyang. Plan for Nanyang. Right. Independent Mixed Brigade can head out as well to the north. The good news is that it can form a garrison for Luoyang, or it could form a garrison for Nanyang in the future. But we're going to be looking towards bringing along that salt value, which is quite handy. So overall we're sending the 69th Division, the 8th Independent Mixed Brigade, the 20th Engineer Regiment, the 58th and 52nd Infantry Brigades, the NCPC Army Headquarters. They're moving out. So that's going to give us a decent amount of AV. You can see that's, what, 353 there, 210, so that takes us to about, what, 563 there. Obviously then another 109 each, so that's, what, 218 there. So a good 700 or so AV. Alongside the 321, the 460, yeah. So we'd have about, I don't know, what, 1800 to 2000 AV in total, depending on how many troops I could get in there as well in the near future. I will be looking towards sending additional troops. Now, ideally, more AV would be definitely better. But in that sort of terrain, we'd be fighting really on an ideal playing field there, really. Which is quite nice. But overall in China, it's going well enough. Let's see. Now, the good news is I can have these forces move out into Hanyang now permanently. Not Hanyang, sorry, into Hankow. So we'll have them move up to Hankow. It'll take some time to move all of them over. Some of them are obviously undergoing maintenance and etc. But that's fine. The decreased distance of travel is going to be very welcome. That additional range, well, the additional proximity towards the areas of China that we want to be at is going to be very nice. So we'll get the rest of those aircraft over there in the near future. If you take a look over here then, so all types, we'll take a look at transportation aircraft, the L3Y2 Tenas. We can see that they have a normal radius of 16 hexes, they get extended of 20. These guys over here, 11 with 14. So even from Hankow, we do have range over to Yun, which is really good. So what it does mean is, for example, I have more aircraft I can use from the south down here, and also we have the range now to cover pretty much all of these cities for the most part. I don't think Luchao is within our range, but it's not as if we'd be landing in Luchao anyway. But the good news is it means I could have the transportation aircraft actually move supply via the air if we wanted to do so, which could be a very handy feature to have in the near future. That, and we'd have potentially the option to move our forces out from Hankow to potentially garrison certain cities very quickly. So definitely all options to actually take into consideration. By the way, ignore the noises in the background. I forgot to clean a paintbrush earlier, and I do not want to pay for another one, because it'd be ruined otherwise. Just giving it a clean. God damn it, I forgot to do this earlier. I've been using Vallejo white primer, actually. It's interesting. You don't think it's really doing that much, but a few coats and then it starts building up over time. What I like about it is the fact that I can see the details still. There we go, almost cleaned that. Do I have any questions here in the chat? Be happy to answer any while I'm doing this and cleaning the brush. There we go, I'm sure it doesn't sound weird on the other side. God damn, I got paint all on me. But yeah, China's looking promising. I mean, the losses and ending really don't trouble me overly much. I think if anything, it's going to lead him to thinking, right, okay, these Chinese forces are awesome when used in mass. I'm sure I'll be able to make use of them in the near future. Okay. That'll do. So, moving on then. We are still unloading our supplies over here at Hankow. Yeah, they've finished. That's good news. Now, what I need to do now is look towards bringing some sort of garrison over here. And that would allow me to actually free up additional forces. So what I'm going to do then is have these transportation... Yeah, these cargo ships head down south. Or, well, down south from the river there. The Yangtze towards Shanghai. We will be doing a reorganization of AV here in the near future. It's quite a complicated process because there's a lot of bases to take into consideration here, really. Okay, you're in position here. I do want to prevent him from moving here, actually. So what I will do is march that unit across the river there. What's the actual road system like? Yeah, secondary roads. Secondary roads are awful. But if he cuts this rail line here, which he could potentially do, and to be honest, I'm quite surprised that he hasn't done beforehand, it would be quite a awful situation. We'd still have the benefit of the rail lines over this way, but I'd like to still maintain contact between Shanghai and, let's say, Manchuria really via the road system. Now, we were going to actually hit the airfield over here at Changte last turn. Now, he was looking at the fact that well, the bad weather prohibited that. I do note there's only 2 airfield damage there, so I think what we are going to do then is switch over to hitting Changsha once again. Okay, a little bit over our stack level here, but that's not too bad. So what we're going to do then is take the K-21s. We'll hit the airfield at Changsha once again. I really want to prohibit him from actually building up his fortifications. And it doesn't take overly much to do so. So it's a no-brainer really for the most part. Okay, yep. 3,000 feet there. I do need to make sure that we do have a fighter escort, so we'll take the actual fighters over here. Which is just 41 Ki-27s there. They are part of the China Expeditionary Force. In the near future, what I might do is, if I do have spare Ki-43s, is maybe have some of these guys upgrade, like split off a detachment of the squadron and have them upgrade to Ki-43s perhaps. Or even Ki-43 1Bs if we have those guys available in the near future, when that squadron changes out. But yes, anyway. So run that escort over Changsha. Excellent. Okay, it's going to be hitting Changsha once again. These guys just need to get their asses in gear. I do have this unit moving out, which is the 51st Reconnaissance Regiment, which is additional armor. Granted, it's only tankettes, and yeah, it's not bad. Motorized squads, IGA cavalry, HMGs, a few AT guns there, tankettes and motorized support. But at the end of the day, it's a unit that can move pretty rapidly, so it's quite handy. I think they move at 30 per day. I'd have to take a look. Motorized might move at a lesser rate than armor, but I'll see. Right, these units are moving over there to alleviate the garrison demands. What's the road network like on the coast? Oh yes, a major road, so there's no issues there. Right, okay. Let's see, we do have an overly large garrison over here. I do have the 102nd Regiment I need to move out elsewhere. I also do have the engineers over here. It's Engineer Regiment. Originally I was going to have it bought out and moved out to Malaya. It would be nice. But I think I will have it actually move up over here. It would be nice to have some additional engineers. The reason being I could take advantage of the major roads over here, so they'll make fairly good progress. It'll take them a good few days to get out that way, but it's not too bad. And they would be very welcome in breaking down the fortifications out there, really. So we'll have them move on out. I do need another unit here to allow the 102nd Regiment to move out. This base force would be useful elsewhere, really. If we take a look over here, Moy has a garrison requirement that is fairly hefty. But not too bad. Okay. Now these guys. Let's see. I do have units over here to Pescadores. I'm going to actually have them head out for Bataan Island, actually. It is a bit overkill having a destroyer escorts in it, to be honest. Would be nice to use a patrol boat. Looks like we have a few patrol boats under repair here. Yes, they're undergoing conversions. So I guess we'll have the actual destroyer carried out then for the time being. But yeah, moving out the SLF over here from Bataan Island, I could have them moved out to Borneo, which would be quite handy there. He will retake the base over here due to my negligence, and yeah, I really fucked over this unit over here. I really should have accepted that and marched him back, but you can see really just how bad the terrain is. Yeah, but it is what it is. I can get troops over there, no issues. Okay, so we do have these units over here. They're going to go into combat mode and unpack. So that gives me... Oh, it's lacking supply, that's why. Okay. I thought it was a garrison issue, but that's fine. Hanoi does need a garrison though, so I will have a unit move back into Hanoi to garrison that up once again. Haiphong is fine, actually, thankfully. But at least we're units over here now. Supply will flow to Lang Son, which means that the forces retreating to Lang Son will have more supply available to them. Okay. Ideally, these guys are unbeknownst to him. Yeah, so we just need to begin to build up our preparation here. So we're going to have them all prepare for Hanyang. Build up our preparation. Set all to prepare. Yeah, so not bad there. I mean, 18, 11, 16, that's not bad. It is certainly better to have some preparation than to not have any preparation at all. Preparation does give us the, just gives us an extra advantage really in combat. Okay, so they're going to bombard. That'll be excellent. I imagine we'll probably take some casualties there, but I think in this, at this point here, we'll be inflicting significantly more casualties with the added heavy cruiser bombardment. So if we can try to really up the ante, obviously the fact that we do have a small amount of bombs hitting Wenkao, the fact that we do have the heavy cruisers as prior mentioned, and then obviously a few forces there as well, that would be quite handy. Yep, you're moving the air division out, which is excellent. Okay. Cruiser miner moving to Hong Kong for repairs. I always assume that I have a repair shipyard at Macau, and I'm always disappointed when I realise I don't. I do have a repair shipyard at Pescadores, which could be potentially closer. She's only 2,400 tons, actually. What's the distance? Hong Kong is 13, Pescadores is 10, so she's going to go to Pescadores. Cruise speed there. That'd be nice if we could actually have her survive. Okay. Now, something I've been thinking about here then is we're going to have the MKB remain over here at Kopang. So these guys are going to remain here. Though I might make use of their cruiser forces actually. We do have a number of heavy cruisers there. Patrol boats are very handy. I do have these guys I continue to unload here at the moment. I'm going to have them dock up and continue to unload. If I take a look over here, then in the actual harbour, the actual port itself, I should say, we have Kashino over here. She's actually, yeah, oh wow. Hell yeah, she's loaded up with 3,000 tons of supply there. That's excellent. And that is really good. So let's take a look over here then. So Ryujo. Yeah, look at that. So we have our torpedo complement once again, which is fantastic news. What we're going to be doing over here at Kopang then is we're going to be resizing the actual squadrons here. And ultimately we are going to be looking at having more zeros, which is going to be excellent. You can see over here, for example, the Armada detachment has been resized to 48 aircraft, which is excellent. So what that means then is just significantly more availability here of aircraft. Now what I'm going to do then is have them on... I could potentially have them based on the actual base there, maybe. And I think I might have them... I'll have a 30% combat air patrol. Then just have the rest as... well, yes, rest. So all fighters in task force can do that. These guys are still set to naval attack here at the moment. I may have them stood down. Potentially just have them training, really. Good number of B5N2s over here. No, so these are B5N1Ks, aren't they? Well, we have a good number of them in the pool there. I think I'll have these guys rest. In fact, I'll have them train. Yeah, we have the A5M4 Claudes over there. They are training. It could be potentially more useful to have the Claudes train. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, the Claudes really are interesting. But yes. We have these guys on the way. Remain on station, just move into the area. What I might do then is possibly take advantage of the heavy cruisers. I mean, we have like, what, 5 heavy cruisers in this area. I have the 4th B detachment of the division there. I would like to have that moved back into the area. I would like to seize Denpasar, but taking a look at the actual resistance over here, we're only looking at a few hundred troops. So I do feel like a actual Naval Guard unit could definitely take that. What I might do then, I really do want to advance the situation over here. It would be a risk to head towards Surabaya. It would be a risk to head towards Balikpapan. But what we might want to do then is potentially have our forces move around and move through the Celebes Sea and down into Makassar Strait. So if I take a look at the distance here, but then again I do have the actual aircraft at Makassar to actually overwatch. We're looking at 10 hexers. He has 73 bombers there, 22 fighters. Now, Surabaya to Balikpapan is 12 hexers. Over here is 10 hexers. 10 hexers, okay. He doesn't have a tremendous amount of aircraft that have that sort of range. I think that does rule out the Swordfish. I do not think they have that range. Though they could be potentially put aboard the Hermes if she's even indeed in the area still. Something to definitely bear in mind. I could go around, and it wouldn't take that much longer, and I suppose it could be potentially safer, but it does mean moving through submarine-infested waters. It would be nice to reduce the amount of travel time, really. So what I might potentially do then is actually have forces moved out from Makassar, perhaps, but then that unit's moving over here. I could have it moved over there, but obviously we have less support to deal with. I think what we'll do is we take advantage of Kendari, really. I think we do look towards actually moving forces out here from Kendari. At Kendari, we do have the 4th Sea Detachment. I do have a Naval Guard. I have the entire 83rd Naval Guard. It does make me wonder. But the thing to really take into consideration here, then, is if we do take Balikpapan, obviously we do gain the benefit of having the fuel there, which really does ease our concerns in the area. It would make a nice base. It's obviously further away from where we need it, but it would be handy. Samarinda as well, that oil capacity. A nice airfield, and it would deny him the use of these airfields. So I think that is worthwhile considering. And yes, a level 4 airfield, level 4 port. We've got 300 refinery capability there, and obviously the 300 oil. Obviously a lot of that would be damaged upon capture, but I think it's about the time now we consider it. So let's take a look over here then. Those forces are moving out the 23rd Air Flotilla, so that's going to be excellent. So they could move out the 23rd Air Flotilla to Makassar. which could leave me with the 82nd Naval Guard able to take out and pass or potentially to take out these islands here. Or even to take elements of the detachment, but then again I don't want to divide it too overly much. Yeah, take that oil. How you doing there, Timon and Pumbaa? Okay. What I might do then is potentially have the heavy cruisers made available. How you doing there, Jack Sparrow? Good to have you, my dude. So let's take a look then. Amphibious, what do we have remaining then? I have a few destroyers over here I could share fuel with. We do have plenty of cargo ships I could potentially make use of. I do have these transports over here. I'm not doing too bad there, my dude. Not doing too bad. I've just been priming my modern my modern Federal Republic of Germany forces, actually. 6 mils in white today. So I've still got a few more coats to go on those. And I've been enjoying the fact that the clocks in the UK have gone back. We really do need to get rid of this British summertime thing. It's a pain in the arse. Oh dear. Okay. So let's take a look at what we have in terms of troop carrying capacity. And speed is going to be an important consideration as well. Okay, troop capacity. Yeah, I mean, we have some very large ships over here that could move a lot of troops very quickly. I mean, these guys are really very nice. Yeah, there you go. It's not actually 10 to 8, it's actually 10 to 7. Let's see, 12 knots. We do have some 14, well, a 14. Oh no, we do have a few more 14 knotters over here. I might just make use of them and have an actual escort of heavy cruisers, perhaps. The enemy empire. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, these 14 knotters do make decent progress. I could have them carry a decent chunk of the forces. I mean, what are we looking at here then? So 12 knots, they cruise at 10 knots. These guys at 14 knots cruise at 11 knots, so it's not really that much in between them, really. So I guess we'll make use of the 14 and 12 knotters. So I think we'll have them begin to load up. Now that is 9 ships there. And that's plenty of endurance I can make use of. I could even potentially have these guys carry some fuel back with them, which could be very handy. What I'll do then is put in a 10th, I'd imagine. I do have these patrol boats over here as well that I could make use of. Destroyed minesweepers as well, very handy. But yeah, we do have these warships over here to help escort as well, which is going to be handy. And they'll be moved to Makassar as well, so we could have them actually escort from there. But I'll probably have some patrol boats follow them, and we'd be looking towards having them escorted via the KA-43s already in Makassar, actually. I was considering actually taking them out, but I really do want to make a drive towards securing Balikpapan and Samarinda very soon. Very soon indeed. Grab another one. Okay. So it's too large to currently dock at this moment in time. So what I'll do then is... see, the fact that they're not docked up is a bit of a problem, actually. So, how much room do we have remaining in the port? Okay. Not a tremendous amount of room there, really. Not a tremendous amount of room. I was thinking what we might do then is load up the largest ones. Yeah, so what we'll do then is... Let's see. I could use the significantly larger troop transports over here. The only thing is, you take a look at their points value. We'll take a look. How much are they actually worth in terms of victory points? They do make excellent speed, which is something to really consider as well. I mean, speed is its own form of protection. But if we take a look over here then, so these guys, yeah, that's 18 points. That's 8 points, which isn't as bad, actually. Well, they're worth about 10 points then, actually. That's not bad, actually. Okay. You know what, then? I might actually use those bad boys. I'd have more of them in there just to spread the troops out, but we could probably get away with that. So what I'm going to do then is disband this task force. We'll form a new task force. And see what APs that we have. I was hoping it would show me the point value. But what I'll do then is I'll go in here, and then once we form the task force, we'll just have them disband. Yeah, a few of them are lacking fuel, but I could have them refill underway. So let's see. Yeah, you're going to be ejected out of here. $19 points, yep. God damn, I really need to recalibrate this mouse. I'm half tempted to do it. Let's see, 18. 13. Right. 8. I could survive. I mean, 8's not too bad. 8. Just another 8. Okay, that's not bad. That's really not bad at all, actually. And they make really tremendously good speed at 17 knots. I mean, what do they actually cruise at? Because I could get away with that. Let's see, what do they cruise at? They cruise at 40 knots, so they really would be quite handy. That's a decent amount of troop capacity as well. As if I was to have them load troops. The detachment... Yeah, they could load that thing. Or near enough. They have a cargo capacity, but they are lacking a little bit there. So let's see, what do we have that could potentially make up that shortfall? Something with a little bit of speed would be nice. Okay. In fact, what I'm going to do then is have them load up. So load up the detachment there. You do not need to load it all up, which is fine. I mean, that's still a good chunk of the actual detachment there. What I'm going to do then is actually give them a patrol boat escort, because it is a pain in the arse round here. Yeah, Saga would be nice. Okay, so we do need the fuel there. I could have them replaced from ships in the actual harbour. Yeah, that's going to be the Balababan invasion force. What I'm going to do then is, we do have a fast transportation force over here, so let's see, where are they? So I've got APDs over here. We do have an AMC over there as well. I do have... Right. Am I not making use of these guys? God damn it. I could have made use of them. Not an amphibious task force, but a fast transport one. But they can act as an actual escort. I mean, the Myoko, Sendai... Yeah, I mean, having a heavy cruiser there would be very nice. I could actually have them. Yeah, we do have some DMSs, so that's not a bad idea, actually. I mean, they are pretty fast, aren't they? We haven't lost any carriers as of yet. Nobody's lost any carriers as of yet, actually. Okay, that's a very interesting task force there. What I'm going to do then is... Yeah, these guys have 19 knots speed, and they cruise at 15, so they're really good escorts there. A heavy cruiser amongst them would be very handy. So I'm going to put these guys into the port. I'm going to change this over to a ASW task force. There we go, ASW. Oh, the temptation to recalibrate this mouse is growing ever stronger. Right, have them patrol there. Okay. So we do have the cargo ships that the tankers have just made it in here, which is excellent. Have them dock. What I could do is actually take these guys. So this is Task Force 10. I'm going to take those patrol boats. So Task Force 10. There we go. Oh, thank you very much, Bear, for the follow. Much appreciated. Right, so patrol around here. I'm not super sure what your purpose was, but I'm going to have you disband. What I could do is actually put that of patrol boat in there. We have a lot of patrol boats, actually. It's just trying to make use of them, really. But we'll have these task forces heading out, which is going to be good. So clear. Start at Kandari, then head to the north, really. Okay. Right. Myoko. A Myoko. I think what I might do then is have a fast transportation force take a naval guard unit to Denpasar. Now, the distance from Makassar to Denpasar, we're looking at 8 hexes, so we do have the range to cover that with aircraft. Okay. I'm hoping to have some additional zeros in the near future. Like you can see over here, we do have the squadrons that have been resized. So we have the Ki-43-1B squadron that we had previously, but what we've done is we've resized the Ryujo squadrons, as well as the Zuho squadron. So what we've done here then is also made use of all the zeros we have in the pool. But it has given us the additional zeros here, which is really very important. Honestly, it's just, yeah, it's great. In fact, what we're going to do is have these guys stood down to train here. I don't know if we can repair any damage over here at Kandari, actually. I'm not entirely certain about that. Maybe very light level of damage, but I'm not certain. I think what I might do then, this is we're going to have additional zeros, but we're going to have additional Ki-43s available as well. I think we do have enough at Makassar. It's going to take us some time to load everything up at Kandari. There's a lot being moved out here. But what I'd like to do then is have a naval guard unit taken to Denpasar. I'd like to make sure it was escorted via the air power from Makassar. He has a good deal of bombers there, so it's one of those of I don't know, is it worth it? I probably would be better off sending in APDs due to the fact that they have inherently more maneuverability, more survivable really, than the troops unload on combat mode rather than strategic, so that does make a difference. I think what we'll look towards doing then is using the APDs. Speaking of APDs, we should have the APDs over here as well. Right, we do have 2 APs over here. These guys are unloading. This tanker has arrived. What I'm going to do is have it disband for the time being. It'll head back to Japan really to pick up additional fuel. Why are they loading fuel? That's not right. Oh, right, okay. What I'm going to do then is tanker. Grab these 1200 capacity ones, they are awesome. Right, grab those bad boys. I do have the APDs over here, they do need to desperately undergo repairs. Okay, 12 knots, we'll take the patrol boats over here. In fact, I could take good few of these patrol boats there. Okay. So, that is an additional 5,000 tons of fuel there. That I'm going to have basically funneled into this area. I could have additional fuel sent out to Kopang or to Kendari. We are going to need fuel in this entire area, really. Thank you very much there for the follow, Villiseka. However that's pronounced. Thank you very much there. So yeah, we'll have that fuel sent down south. I'm going to say Kopang for the time being. It would be nice to have fuel out there. We do have an oiler that I would like to have sent back as well. But having an oiler available in the area would be very nice. There's a lot to do here, really. A lot to do. We're going to go for a deliberate attack over here. Hopefully that does work out. Though, I do have possibly enough supply. We're going to be unloading additional supply there, so ideally we'll have enough. These guys are moving out as soon as that loaded up. These guys are moving in to take those bases over there. Okay, that's good. Right. Detection 8 out of 10. Detection 8 out of 10. No detection here. Detection 1 out of 11. Looks like he's had radio intelligence or magic over that way. Do any of your episodes have notable naval battles? Some of them actually do, yes. I don't remember the numbers, though. We had one when we had the Battle of Bellap Islands. Yeah, that's the one thinking of there near Numea. Any other significant naval combat? Well, we had the ones obviously at the start of the game on turn 11 or 12. Well, those are embarrassing for me now. But yeah, I'd say probably the best one was probably the Battle of Bellap Island. I don't think we've really had anything else in terms of surface engagement since then. It's all been basically us hitting him from the air. How you doing there, Rumble? How's it going there in Finland? Have you been in the sauna yet? Are you actually live from the sauna? So that would be awesome. Okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted by fins and saunas, etc. Okay. Now, originally, I was going to have these guys used for a different purpose. How you doing there, Fally? Good to have you, my dude. But you know what we're going to do then is they're going to unload their troops over here. So unload, but then you're going to return home, so retirement is allowed. You need to get the hell out of there. Right, then head for Kendari. Unload, head for Kendari. Unload troops, head for Kendari. They'll be really handy in future, actually. Yeah, that's the one that I don't like to think about. Oh, well, it is what it is. Alright, you're patrolling over there. You're really kind of patrolling over there just to try and get an idea of what he has in that area. You didn't click to unload. Then unloaded. I didn't click beforehand, so you were right. Hey, do that, Blackitch. This game is unfortunately not on Steam. I think it might be one of the East that's on Steam. They do have sales each year, I do believe. Now, this game is normally about 60 to 70 pounds or something like that. It does go on sale usually around Christmas time and New Year for about 20 odd pounds, so it's definitely worth it. But you don't even really need this on Steam. It's one of those games where it really has much before the time of Steam, really. Okay. So the good news is the Fuso and the Yamashiro will be able to rearm at Kopang when they do arrive. Our carriers will be rearmed once they arrive. We're going to really just remain here for another additional day to allow both elements of the Kidappatai to link up. Okay, well, what we're going to do here, then. I'm going to place a larger escort in here. DMSs for certain. So, W1, W3, and W19 have been moved into this task force. I do have the potential for the usage of torpedo boats actually as well, if needs be. But that's a fair-sized, that's an okay escort. I could have the heavy cruiser potentially placed in here. Yeah, this one is awesome. War of the East 2 will be coming out next year as well, I do believe. I'm hoping it's going to be in Q1. But it'll be awesome when it does. I mean, obviously when I know more information, I'm going to be sure to let you guys know. I'm hoping that I might be able to stream some of the game before it does actually come out, which could be awesome. As far as I'm aware, the work in regards to War of the East 2 is... I think it's about balancing and testing at the moment. I think they're working on just obviously getting the introduction of the air system right. Also the air system being that of War of the West. So that's going to be good. Yeah, one of these two is basically going to be... obviously the Eastern Front with War in the West style gameplay, I suppose. Obviously the logistics is going to be significantly more detailed. I mean, I'm hoping for production. I mean, what I love about that game from the sounds of it so far is, in regards to the actual production, it sounds like, for example, if you have a Panzer IV chassis, you could potentially order it converted, which would be quite nice. How you doing there, Farlight? Okay. Kahokumo Rouge, she's doing a little bit of patrol there. Yeah. Oh no, this is good. We are working on that one in regards to engineers for Singapore. We are moving more down from Kotobaru as we do speak. I do have some on some ships from elsewhere. I was going to pick up these guys, but as we discussed earlier, it would have been too expensive to buy them out for the political point cost. But yes, we are sending more engineers down to Singapore, that's for damn certain. Additional heavy guns are moving down that way as well. We do have the 21st Regiment, the 21st Division being offloaded as we speak. None of them are sure at this moment in time, but they will be in the near future. Tank regiments are heading out. The tank regiments would have been useful down here at Singapore, but I'm opting to have them sent out to China, to where they could be potentially more use. I mean, this area is really where we make or break it in China. Okay. Let's see. I tell you, this is it. It's like it's only become a recent trend of mine to actually name the episodes. I probably should have been doing that from the start. I probably should have had thumbnails with numbers on them, but there's a lot of thumbnails now. Okay, so we have our forces marching out over here. I'm going to have the DMS W7 head over here to Luganville. Her purpose is going to be to pick up some additional troops. I was considering potentially having them head into Numair to test if there was actually mines. I don't think there's mines. She's been there 2 days, I guess, now. She hasn't seen any mines, actually. So I'm going to have her head into Espirito Santo, aka Luganville, to pick up some troops. And we'll take Effet and Tanner as well, actually. Should be quite good. We've seen that he's been responsive over here as well. We have not yet seen any evidence of the carriers remaining at Wellington nor leaving Wellington. So we don't know where they are at the moment, but I'm still going to say that they're at Wellington. We've been kind of hoping to use these submarines as a tripwire. Well, I mean, yeah, it's a good time to bring that one up there, Farlight. The issue is we do have submarines in the area. The way we're going to verify this without having to... yeah, neither you mentioned that while I was typing. I like that. Yeah, we're kind of using the submarines as a tripwire. We can see that none of these submarines do have detection. We did go through the operations report last turn, and there was no sighting of aircraft. Now, that doesn't indicate that he isn't there, or that he hasn't moved. He could have potentially stood down all naval searching all aircraft, but it's one of those of, well, if he does that, he's kind of blind. So it's one of those where he could do it, but it's not as likely. He could have disbanded them into the port, which would be probably a good explanation for why there's no aircraft sightings at all, as they could be in port there, really, or stood down completely. I'm just hoping against hoping there's going to remain in that area. We have seen increased activity over here, which is... it's a very interesting development so far. I just wish you were THG would use your big ships more, be it carriers or battleships. Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, I'm gonna be making so much use of the Yamato. I cannot wait until we have the Yamato class. We are gonna be using her. The reason why we're going to be using her is we're able to rearm her through the use of AKEs. So, for example, in the near future, what we will be doing... I mean, really the approach that we're going to be taking in regards to Fiji in the near future, depending on how the actual great battles of the day do actually carry out. Now, in a scenario where we do actually defeat the USN carriers, or at least actually are able to achieve supremacy in the area around Fiji, what I'd be looking towards doing then is actually taking control of one of these islands in the nearby vicinity. So even Kandalvu Island, potentially, if we're able to take something like that, parking an oiler there, parking some AKs there, supply there, and basically what we'd do is assemble we'd assemble all the battleships that we could, basically, and we'd have them really just performing a round-the-clock bombardment of Suva, heading out in really like pairs, perhaps, just to keep the bombardment consistent and the turnover consistent, and just bombarding the ever-living shit out of Suva. And the Yamato, baby, should do some damage with those 18 inches. Definitely do some yeah, definitely do some damage. In regards to fuel use, yeah, but I'm not too concerned about that one. I don't really see using her all too often, per se, but in times of great need, then yes, I would use her. But this is where having her parked on an island like that was an oiler and an AKE, and used to basically travel short distances to make use of her guns, is very useful to us, really. Yeah, decisive battle would be quite nice. Now, what we're doing over here, then, as I mentioned earlier, the Shoho is going to remain in Japan for at least another day. I do have the oilers heading south, as you can see. We do have them protected by patrol boat. Those guys are heading north to Wakanai. Not Wakanai, to Toyohara. I might have those guys actually head to Wakanai. Maybe. We'll see there. But we do have additional fuel being made ready in Japan, actually. So let's see. Well, this is it. It's going to be a very, very bloody interesting situation coming in the near future, actually. And every additional day he stays at Wellington, it really does help. Well, this is it. The beauty of our plan is it's not even entirely a trap. It doesn't actually need him to do anything, really. It's not even... It's one of these things. It would be nice to actually deal with the enemy carriers, but the thing is, it's like I'm more than happy to move out into the Pacific and sink a lot of these vital transports out in that area. Like, you can imagine the absolute catastrophe that would ensue if we were to find... And let's say that we find a convoy moving one of the 1st Marine Divisions. Imagine if we found that, baby. Oh yeah, you know what, I'd have loved to have the Shinano able to be converted to another Yamato. That'd been awesome. I would have gone for that, even though it's not exactly ideal. I would have still gone for it. Okay, so the heavy cruiser Maya's having her repairs carried out there. That's good news. We have the Atlas Maru over here and the Shinyabari, the Shinyabari. So they're only about a week now from being completed, which is going to be fantastic. So we'll have another 2 AKEs over here. What I do need to go through and do then is actually have the Lemas converted to AKEs as well. Right, here we go. We do have some tankers over here. They're loading fuel. Holy shit, they loaded quickly. And I do have a whole hell of a lot of boats over here. You know, I can't remember what their purpose was, actually. But what I'm going to do then is make use of these patrol boats. That's a good solid number, you know. There's a good solid number there. Right. I could have potentially more moved to the north. That would be nice. Yeah, I'd like to move some escorts to the north end. But I'll have some of them made use of by transport, well, escort and the actual fuel being moved around. So I can have some of these moved out to Kushira. That'd be nice. I might have some base out here at Wakanai, actually. Is it Wakanai or Sendai? Owaki. Owaki, that's it. I really don't know what these get. I mean, these are really handy to have that many. So I will have some of these transports moved over to Tokyo, actually. Right, ASW. Grab another 3. Okay. I'll have these guys based out here at Owaki. How you doing there, Magnus? Good to have you, my friend. Right, they can head over there to Owaki. Yep, that's what we're doing right now there, Firelight. As you can see, we do have resource convoys underway. Our resource convoys have been doing fantastic, actually. We've not really had anything in the way of issues in regards to the resource convoys. He has made the odd submarine attack here and there, but it's not been very, very successful. He's not really had much in the way of any success rate so far, to be honest. I think the most he's done is actually hit a patrol boat, actually. Let's see, we've got the Kyushus over here. Yeah, we're going to look through some additional conversions, so disband them. Oh, they're in Kobe. Oh, they shouldn't be in Kobe, actually. That's probably why. Okay. Right. Cargo. What do we actually have here, then? So, Kyushus. I think these guys have kind of been left out, actually, haven't they? Tohos. Toho. Okay, well, we'll just move these guys out then. I will grab these patrol boats there as well. Well, this is it. It's unlikely that he's going to realise that. If we can get the actual carriers out towards the Pacific before he realises, then it's all the better, really. The Graf Zeppelin was designed to operate alone or a little escort as a surface raider, so that an aspect the secondaries may... Ah, right, okay. That's interesting. Right, either way. I'm going to leave a couple of those there. Two of them can escort them to Tokyo, where I can also make use of the ability to move those additional troops there. So we will have forces that we do need to move out from Tokyo. I mean, those would be really handy for moving on the Aleutians. I still need some actual escorts here, though, so let's see. What I'm going to do then is grab the 2 patrol boats in Tokyo. Okay. Now, they're still loading, but they will be finished next turn. What I will do then is actually have a fuel sent down to truck to replace the fuel that we are sucking up there. So they're moving a good 35,000. They'll be moving a good few thousand tons of fuel down that way. What we are going to do then is go into Osaka and Kyoto. Go into the actual ports over here then. I'm going to go into the AKs. And what I need now is to find Limas, ideally. Sumis are also good. There we go, Lima. Have you converted into an AKE? Begin the process of that. It says 21 days we'll have another AKE. Lima, again. Convert. There we go. All of these are going to be very, very handy. See, their cargo capacity is excellent, so these guys are fantastic as AKs. They still hold on to pretty good speed. Another Lima there. So there we go, that's going to increase the amount of AKs that we have in the near future, which is going to be excellent. I think we'll have this guy converted to... So we have an AV or we have a AS. As an AV, I don't think he has... Right, so he has the ability there. Seaplane support 16, aircraft capacity 4. I don't think he can operate underway. I think it's the Kyushus that can operate underway. Something to bear in mind anyway. If I take a look at the Kyushus that we have over here, that should have been heading to Osaka, so I'm glad that we actually noticed that. Yeah, so the Kyushu, if I take a look over here then, so the AV... Oh no, they can operate aircraft underway it seems then. We'll see there. Our pilot train's going fairly well actually. Infinite Monkey has been helping me out there tremendously with that one, and I did have help from Major Problem as well, 42. So if we take a look over here then, so Legion pilots, let's see, where's the training pool? So top pilots, I need to look in pilot replacement, reserve pool. Yes, we do have the vast majority of our pilots actually dumped into the pools over here then, as part of our training regime, basically to try and keep that experience there. Obviously, we don't want to have a degradation of experience over the course of the game. As time marches forward, basically. Okay. I do have tankers over here as well. I do need an escort, though. Yeah, you are right. I just need to recalibrate this mouse. It's been all kind of janky at the moment, so when I'm clicking, I'm not clicking on what I actually want to click on. Snap on, snap off. You're going to need fuel shortly. I do have a singular patrol boat there. 11 knots is pretty slow, but that's fine to begin with. What I'm going to do then is actually have you meet the tankers at Ominato. Merge with them, and then we can have those tankers begin to head south. So we've got oilers underway at the moment, which is good news. I will look for some additional oilers around here as well. I do have a tanker moving back. PB's over there. I do have 3 oilers at Tokyo, so I'm going to look towards having them potentially fueled up. Though, saying that, we do have the 2 oilers there. It could be potentially worthwhile to have more oilers, actually. Well, as far as it goes in terms of the actual oil fields, it is handy. Like, obviously the Dutch East Indies will probably look towards protecting them towards a degree. But as far as it goes for protecting the actual oil fields, it's better to just probably be aggressive and just obviously keep pushing him further and further back, really. I mean, what we're going to be looking towards doing is having Shoho operate in this area with oilers, really. The good news is, with us owning Midway Island, it does really give us that flexibility there. We're going to allow the oilers and tankers a little bit of time to actually get out ahead of the carriers. The reason being, we'd actually have the ability to refuel then before we actually head out. You can see these guys are drinking up all the fuel in truck at the moment. They're nearly finished. I do need to give them an actual escort. I might give them the shorter ranged, shorter legged destroyers actually as an escort. We do have some of them move at 19, so I think what we'll do then is, let's see. What do I have here in terms of patrol boats? Really? None. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the Kaito 7s are fine, aren't they? They can potentially turn back bombers, etc. I do have some AMCs over here that I need to make use of. Those guys are awesome. Okay, so I guess what we'll do then is send out... it just seems like a waste, so what I'm going to do then is actually split this up. So what I'll do then is replenishment. I'm going to take the 19 knotters, the 18 knotter over here. I'll take the... depth charges. Yeah, I mean, they cruise at 15 knots. You cruise at 14 knots. These guys cruise at 15 knots. Now the A5M4s, yeah, they come in handy. I'll just send the one destroyer. I mean, I could send more destroyers. It might be worthwhile sending additional destroyers. And it's not a bad idea to actually send additional destroyers due to the fact that at least I'd have some pre-positioned, actually. I'll send out a Nagara class light cruiser alongside them, really. The reason being, at least we do have that float plane there. I guess we'll send some other destroyers as well. Okay. So they're going to be moving out to Roidemar. The reason why they're going to be moving out to Roidemar is just so we have the ability to refuel from that position there, really. We want to refuel the carriers before they do head out into the Pacific, due to the fact that we're not going to have really much in the way of opportunities to refuel them out that way until they head north, which is why we're going to have the Shoho head north. The rationale being, she heads north, escorting oilers, and that means she's able to allow us to refuel underway over there. Now I do have these guys, which I'm going to give them some additional destroyers then. Okay. I think another light cruiser perhaps then. No, you don't have any float planes. I guess that'll be fine as is then, really. Obviously you have them continue as they are, and they're going to head over there to Roinemo as well. Get that fuel moving out there as soon as it's available. We want to have the oilers move into this area before we do begin moving the carriers ourselves, really. The reason being we actually have a fuel pre-positioned then to make use of. I think expanding oil fields where refineries are also a good idea. Yeah, it's something to definitely consider, really. It's definitely something to consider. Okay. So that over there, that's excellent. Just need to get additional forces down here. I mean, having AKEs would be fantastic. 7 days before we have 2 more, and I really, really cannot wait until we have them. I do have 3 destroyers over here, actually, which is interesting. These guys do need to undergo some repairs. Okay. You need to be upgraded. Right, so these 2 guys over here, then, can be upgraded as well. Oh, that's it, isn't it? We had them headed to Saipan to refuel, so they can head back to Tokyo now. They were headed to Japan to well, just to upgrade, really. So they can head to Tokyo. Or to disband once you do arrive. Upgrade, yes. Yes. And yes. There we go. Yeah, exactly. It is good, obviously, to be able to turn missions about. I think I'm going to have that head to truck. It will be really useful for me to be able to actually move additional aviation engineers out across the Pacific, really. It could potentially help us out in the actual battles to come if I was able to move additional engineers into places that he wouldn't potentially expect. Like being able to move engineers over to Baker Island, or just islands where we could potentially expect the enemy would be quite nice. We do see him with ships over here, which is interesting. Right, you're the one with the float plane. So let's take a look over here then. From Palmyra back then to Pearl Harbor. Which is presumably the way he's coming. So if we take a look. Try and pick them off about that position in there, really. And also trying to, like, gather some intelligence. But we'll see there, really. It would be nice to see if he was actually moving anything down that way that we should be really aware of. But it does seem like, I don't know, it's one of these. We do see ships over there on Wallace Island. We see ships around Fiji. We saw ships around, not Fiji, sorry. We saw ships around Pago Pago. So he's definitely becoming more active in this area, and I think that is something that we can expect in the fact that, well, as you'd imagine, we've seen the carriers. He's gonna be aware of that. As to how aware of that he is, as to how much he actually places emphasis on that, in terms of, like, is he worried or not, it is interesting. But I think either way, really, he is going to be aware that we have some potential idea about his carriers. So it would explain why he's been, like, more aware, really. More aware and more... Well, just... I suppose this is it. He's more sensitive to our movements now than he previously was. So I think that does make sense in the fact that he's reacting more, really. There's way too much green on that map. How you doing there, Helson? Good to have you, my dude. But you are right there. We'll see. We do have submarines moving in position over here, which is going to be great. Looking to try and pick him up there, really. Try and pick up on the movements. We do have our submarines moving down here. We do have a light cruiser force looking to intercept this force over here in the night, which could be good. Thank you very much there for... Oh, wow. Thank you very much there for the subscription, my friend. Much appreciated. Gotta love that with Twitch Prime. Much appreciated, my dude. Really helps me out. Yeah, not much you can do right now. Yeah, you are certain. You are banging the money, man. God damn, what am I trying to say? Okay, so we have 7 out of 8 detection over there, and it looks like the base is empty, so I might go in there and just take that. I think we will do that. If I can grab it, that'd be really awesome. Right, fast transport. I can't dock up, unfortunately. Let's see. I'd like to spread some love. Yeah, you are right there. You are right there. And I really do appreciate it, man. It is really awesome. Right, have him loaded board. What I could then do is actually, once we do take this base over here, move one of the aviation coys down there. We're going to try and take advantage of this. He does have aircraft out here, which is interesting. Maybe those are swordfish, perhaps? We're looking at 9 hexes away, so we should... I mean, 8 hexes, 9 hexes, we might be within range. So there's something of a worry. But we'll see there. Right, can't be sweeping. Escort and commander's discretion. At least that gives us a little bit of cover in this area. Subchasers are moving over here with the AV, Kunikawa, Maru. And to be honest, I could have that move into Potinayak, whatever the hell it's called, pretty quickly as well, actually. 2,000 tons of supply moving in here as well, which is excellent. At the moment, I do have 1,786 tons of supply. We're moving some out over here, so the 2,000 there be quite welcome. I'm going to have a force... Yeah, these transports and Yanagi are moving back into Kotobaru. So I'm going to pick up an actual naval guard unit to then have moved down here to Sarawak and Borneo, well, North Borneo to be exact. As I fudged up and he's going to be able to retake the space next turn. He's going to grab some supply, but hey, well. I'll just land again and take it back from him. Oh dear. The fight in the Kagai's gone on far too long, really. So I'm going to be looking towards sending additional naval guard units here to this area from Malaya. And just securing the area, really, bringing the battle to an end. I don't know how he's doing over here at Bataan. I don't imagine he's got much in the way of supply. It could be potentially worthwhile to bombard him every now and then just to try and check on the amount of supply availability he has. At least on his actual AV, really. Something to bear in mind. Something to bear in mind. But not quite yet. I'm happy just to let him starve. I know that we are burning his supply by sending the near constant air raid, so that's something to bear in mind there, really. Okay. Let's see. Cameron Bay, we're doing fine. Patrol boats over there. Could be quite handy, though. I do have additional tankers moving in there. Would be nice to have some fuel down that way. I've got a lot of these bad boys. Yeah, the Ansoyers. I need to get these guys moved down here to go and convert elsewhere. A few tankers here as well. These are very nice tankers at that. What I'm going to do then is transport... have these large tankers move back to Japan. What do I have here at Cameron Bay? Do I have any resources, actually? They do. They do prevent that. Yeah, there's nothing much there, really. I could do with some patrol boats, though. Apparently I do have some patrol boats here. Oh, I see. So what I'll do then is I'll have them dock Cameron Bay for the time being, but I'm going to have them sent back to Japan in the near future, actually. Okay, this element of the Armada detachment is ready to move. Saigon. Okay, so we did have the battle over here, so he's definitely crossing with additional forces. There'll probably be a shock attack next turn. So we will be ejected from this hex here shortly, really. It's going to happen at some point. But it's going to be causing him disruption, it's going to be causing him fatigue, and to be honest, I really don't care what happens to the second RTA. It was a shame that they took so much in the way of losses, but in all honesty, the fact that it's drawing his forces out from Burma is excellent. He should have just had those units just sat somewhere, looking pretty, really. So I don't particularly mind it. Right, yeah. So I have the fighters here, obviously we do have the bombers as well. The A-System-2 Zeros of the Tainan KUS are going to be reinforced shortly. I could have them stood down another day, perhaps, to recover additional fatigue. 13's not bad, 7 fatigue here. I might just send it in a sweep, to be honest. He has got 35 bombers over there, so that's quite a decent amount of bombers there. And I think those are the light bombers. I think what he's probably done is taken his heavy bombers and probably moved them out elsewhere. I do need to try and shut down the actual airfield at Rangoon. The earlier the better, really. But I think what we'll do then is we'll just continue to rest this turn. Drop that down to 30% and keep it at, yeah, keep that like that. So yeah, we'll continue to rest here a little bit longer. Have the Zeros drop that fatigue there. We'll have an additional 0 tomorrow. We'd have a good few more in 2 days. It might be that we wait 2 days to actually have all those additional Zeros and then go in. Which is not a bad idea to have all those Zeros. It would burn off their fatigue. It's something to bear in mind, really. Okay. So unloading supply over here, which is nice. Right. Can't wait until they get on the actual rail lines. You can see how effective the rail lines are and how important it is to actually have good roads. Yes, we have all these forces over here. These guys are heading down to Johor Bahru. Was a mistake to move them out, really, but that's fine. I can recover from that. I do have the G4M1s over here, actually. It could be potentially useful. But then again, he's going to have a large amount of combat patrol over here. Escort, so no, we can't do it yet. But what I'd like to do then is potentially move aircraft out. I may have the G3M2s potentially moved over here to Singkawang, which I could then use to actually hit Palembang. Or we might begin the actual raids against Palembang. I'd love to have more Zeros down here, to be honest. Walk out for 3-1Cs would be nice as well. Eight fatigue. I think what I'm going to do here then is have these guys sweep Palembang. I'm going to keep the number of bombers here low. I'm going to just use the K-27s this time. I do need to make use of these guys. The Kanaya KUK-1 though would be very handy. I have the squadrons at Clark to move as well. So let's take a look at the ones at Clark. I mean, these guys have been continuously hit. It might be worthwhile to keep them there a little bit longer, due to the fact that they gave us that naval surge. Okay, I'll tell you what. I think that is... I really do want to make use of these for their transport capabilities. Kitakami. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'll consider that once we deal with more of his actual aircraft, actually. Yeah, you can play this against the AI. You can definitely do that. Right, what I'm going to do then is take the Tori. She can go back over there. Anyway, Kitakami and Oi. What I'm going to do there then is give them another destroyer there. So we'll have a light cruiser and 3 destroyers head out there to deal with the arseholes at Buswanga. Right. These guys are actually going to head back to Kotobaru. The reason is they can actually refuel at Kotobaru, and I can have them become a fast transport task force and actually move down additional naval guard quickly. They're going to head out that way to go deal with those. I think they'll be fine there. So I think what I'll do then is I'll keep the G3M2s over there. What I will do though is, let's see. Bombers. G4M1s. The thing is with the G4M1s, they do have a range, which is very handy. So I think we'll use the G4M1s due to that they do have that greater transference range. It's just one of those, isn't it? They are moving out quite far. What I'm going to do then, how's their fatigue? Yeah, their fatigue's very low. They've been stood down quite a while, so they've been able to recover quite quickly. Let's see, range. We can go pretty far, actually. Right, let's see support-wise. I might have them go to Boaldwab and then move over, actually. Or even, you know what? I might have them move to Makassar. We'll take a look here, actually. It might be wiser to actually move them to Kendari first. Obviously, I'm moving out of the air flotilla, but I do have a number of actual kois over here. We don't actually have that much in the way of demand on the aviation support here, actually. Yeah, I've got 114, but it makes sense to move to Kendari, and from Kendari could move them out. And what's the difference between supply and support? Supply is your all-encompassing unit of logistics, really. Like, supply is, you can imagine, from the ammunition in your rifle, to the malaria tablets, to the food that keeps your platoon fed. Basically, everything and everything. Aviation fuels included in supply. Support is essentially like the logistics there. So you can imagine the guys that are there to help you repair said rifle, to actually get you said rifle, to actually get you said parts for your aircraft, that sort of thing. So support is important. Aviation support, there's also naval support and support in general. Aviation support is required to maintain aircraft. Naval support helps with naval aspects. Like, for example, if you have naval support at a base, it does help you with the rearmament levels. It also helps you unload quickly and etc. Load quickly. Okay, there we go. 2 of them were damaged in flight, but that's fine. I could potentially have them fly maybe ASW patrols here, but I'm going to have them just stay stood down. Yeah, just remain stood down, actually. Okay, so then now, yeah, you're more than welcome. So they're 46 hexes away from Rabaul. 72 hexes away from Luganville. But they do have plenty of aviation support there. I mean, over here at Truck, I do need more aviation support pretty quickly. And we are having it moved down there. It's going to be a few days away, but it will arrive. Right, dock up. Right, they're too large a dock. What I'll do then is disband that. Yeah, exactly. That's a really good analogy there. Undock. It's a large force, isn't it, really? Right, there we go, we can dock them. That's excellent news. Yeah, they're a few days out. They are moving quite quickly. They do make awesome, awesome speed, actually. Really good. And that's basically warship equivalent in terms of speed there. So it's only going to take them a few days to arrive, which is absolutely amazing. So they'll arrive at Truck in no time at all. Be able to unload all that tasty, tasty aviation support over there at Truck, and I can start to parcel that out as well. Moving west. These guys are picking them up from there, which is good. I think these guys... Yeah, they're heading over that way. Still loading supplies, but just cancel that, just get your asses in gear. Yeah, cancel loading supplies and just get moving. I'm gonna need more of these troops down this way. Take over additional islands, really. So... I tell you what, I might run naval search from these guys. Could be handy to have that information. Or even ASW would be really quite handy. It is tempting, I'm gonna say that. Okay, well, what we're going to do here then. So, reconnaissance. Then we're reconnaissance over Denpasar. We have a fair idea of what's going on over here, and we'll be looking towards Denpasar. I'm going to wait an additional day until we begin loading the forces up at Gandara to allow the other forces to unload up and get moving. Our detection is pretty good over here at Samarinda, etc. What I'm going to do then is check out the other airfields in the area. We'll be arriving over here shortly, actually, so I'm going to go ahead and check that out, reconnaissance. I'd like to be aware if there's something over there, actually. Over here as well. I do have a feeling that it's used in some of these bases in the area to run reconnaissance. I want to find that out. Right, this is a base I'm really interested in as well. So let's run some reconnaissance out there. These units are going to remain in position. If he's looking to try and evict them, then good luck. I mean, yeah, he's not even moving them. So the 4th Division is going to be moving in there to kick their arse. They'll be forced to surrender. And then that's good news. Very good news. I do have a unit over there at Kalaka that I need to deal with. Or 2 units at Kalaka I need to deal with. I could send the 83rd to deal with them, but it seems like a waste. Seems like a waste. I have got to bear in mind that they are there, though. So eventually I will have to deal with them. We'll see. I could do with a garrison force over here at Kopang as well, actually. But I'm not going to be moving out the troops from Kopang quite so much yet. We have secondary roads there. It's a shame that we don't have the major roads. It would be nice. It might be considered to move and take them out. I may go do that, actually. We can always cancel this movement if we do have need for additional forces. But I think I'll go and take these units out over here. If I could take control of these bases, which I would do probably by the time we actually got to taking this unit, it would be nice. Ideally, those bases at the other end of Timor are empty. We'll find out shortly anyway. Let's see over here then. We do have major roads down to here actually. I think I will make use of this unit then. Yeah, it's a strong unit, so I think we will have it made use of actually. Go and take out those troops over there. We just need to be very, very aggressive and really on the ball now. They're going to continue to head out that way. We do have a float plane, which is fantastic. We're going to really make use of that. So we're looking towards sending the fuel out into positions where we need it. We're waiting to make use of the carriers. The carriers at Kopang will remain there for 1 day, potentially 2 days at absolute most. Shoho is going to remain in Japan for at least an additional day. We're going to be basically moving our oilers across the Empire, really. Now, do I keep these guys in position? I guess we'll keep them in position until we have... Well, no, then again, I really do want to be in a position when I have them available for action. I am concerned about how quickly he could potentially position himself for a... Well... for a raid against us, really. It would be nice to have more of these naval bombers available at a moment's notice. You can see they have been gaining experience there, like, especially in the naval search area, which is quite good. I think what I will do then is have them move down. I could even have them move down to Kendari as well, actually. The reason being just the amount of support to that base is actually pretty damn good. Yeah, Kendari there at 114. I mean, maybe we have to move to Kendari. You know what? I really don't know what the reasoning is for that, actually. I mean, obviously I don't watch the videos, but I have heard it mentioned. I had somebody mention in a comment, but it might be due to the fact that he's worried about spies. I mean, this is it. Obviously, at the end of the day, this series only does well if nobody's cheating, really. I know that myself and THG are certainly not, because we have a lot riding on this. We spent way too much time on this. But again, it's one of those. There might be individuals out there who maybe inadvertently think they're helping, but actually, by giving away information or suggesting ideas, it's one of these. That might be the reason why. That's the best estimation I've got at the moment. I tell you what, I might move these guys down to Gazmata, actually. I think I'll move them to Gazmata, actually. They'd be really handy. Yeah, we'll move them down to Gazmata. I'm tempted to move these Kaiford Frees elsewhere, actually. Though, the longer I leave them at Clark, obviously the more that will be repaired, and therefore the more that can move out pretty quickly. But if I could move some fighters down here to Gazmata, I'd be quite happy. In fact, what I'm going to do then... I mean, they're just better positioned to be useful, aren't they? These guys are running search. I could have them run ASW, to be honest, quite easily. It would be nice to make use of that. Try and drive them out of the area as well, actually. That would be very handy. We can have these guys just run naval search then. But again, it means that we have one naval bomber squadron over here, so we have now... obviously there's another 6 there that need to be repaired, but we have now what? 34 G3M2s there. We have another 39 G3M2s over here as well. We have 27 G3M2s down here as well. So we have like, what, 90 or so naval bombers in this area. I need to get more fighters in this area now. That's the thing we need. But the good news is... we're going to be in a good position. We talked about this. We're fine with this. We do have naval search to take over from them, so that's fine. We will have another G3 squadron. Sorry, you know, I think it's a G4 squadron arriving shortly as well. So if we take a look at group reinforcements. Yes, we'll have at Chiba, we'll have tomorrow the Misawa KUK-1 arriving. Which is going to be absolutely fantastic. Actually, speaking of Kaido... right, the 7th Base Force is moving. It's going to be another day before they really begin moving out. But once they do arrive over here at Wakanai, that'll be really good. Be exceptionally useful to have. I have Claudes over here. I might move some naval search over to this area actually to help us out. I have adequate naval support stats. Sorry, aviation support. That's good. It's far more interesting seeing both isolated perspectives. Well, that's it, isn't it? Really. Like, I'd love. Oh God, I'd love to be able to talk to THG and really just like, because this is the thing. It's like on certain episodes we might have completely different ideas of what's actually going on, which is awesome. Thank you very much, man. Nuke202p for the follow there. Much appreciated, my man. Right, these E8s don't have much in the way of range. I'd rather have the Alps. The Alps are fantastic, but we don't have as many of them. Well, yeah, this is it, really. I mean, some people really do like to just see it from one point of view only, and that's fine. There are people who like to see both points of view. And of course, there's people who like to see only the Allied point of view. And we like to cater towards that, really, which is awesome. I might make use of the Daves, actually. The Daves aren't too bad. What's their range? I take it back. I take it back. Yeah, we'd love to have a podcast at some point, actually. The only thing is about each week is... we're looking probably every few months, really. Just because, obviously, then we don't have information snipping out, really. E7, yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. These guys are much better. Went over to the Axis, yeah. Okay. What I'm going to do then is actually have these guys move out to Nagasaki. The reason is they can run ASW in this area here. Or I could even potentially have them moved over here to the north where we know he's at, well, he's running submarines. Do we have any naval search out here? We do have the F1M2 Peats. Let's go and check on the F1M2 Peats beforehand, actually. Okay, they're training here at the moment. I could have them activated to run patrols. We haven't seen submarines in this area for a while. I know he's probably operating them here in this area. I like to watch both turn replays to see reactions, kind of to learn. Well, this is it really, isn't it? It's like we have different approaches. Like I know THG is a busy dude, which I can fully respect, and is an awesome opponent. But it's just different approaches and styles. But it's nice that there is that alternate, well, that alternative style that you can take a look at. Really handy. I guess we'll have these guys. I could have them run ASW patrol. I might be better off just leaving them on training, to be honest. I think we'll leave them on training, to be fair. I could have them moved over to Nagasaki, but I don't think we really need to. And I think they're probably more useful in the fact of having them continue their training. We haven't seen submarines over here to really justify it too much yet. In the near future, we will do. Yeah, this is it, isn't it, really? And it's going to be awesome when you do pick up the game. You're going to be coming into the game with significantly more experience without even having played. So you can enjoy it significantly more. I mean, what I'm trying to do with my Discord is really try and set up a small but friendly One Pacific community as well, which is quite nice. Yeah, that's true, that's true. I don't think we need too much in the way of ASW at this moment in time. I'm tempted to move potentially ASW assets over this way though, because I feel like it's going to be headed for us out here. The only issue is it's a little bit harder due to that, but I'm not going to have that much in the way of range, so... I do indeed have a Patreon, my dude. That is actually... I'm really quite excited now. I'll go get a link. Oh. I feel like a pretty pink princess right now. But I mean, it's much appreciated. Anybody have any questions while I'm here as well? There we go, that is my link. Ah, thank you very much there, dude. That'd be much appreciated. I'm going to be doing a sale on the prints, actually. I keep meaning to make a video about it. I'm going to make a video about it. I'll do it tomorrow, actually. But I'm going to be doing the actual Haruna prints at, like, not far off half price, actually. Which would be really cool. Let's see. Okay. Now something that I have been meaning to Oh, thank you very much for that, Bleach. That's much appreciated, my dude. Yeah, something that I've been meaning to take a look at is actually the usage of naval points that we're using in terms of the shipyard. I think I will be doing that one next turn. I don't think we're really accelerating things as we really think we should be doing. I mean, if we take a look at it now, actually. Something I've been meaning to take a look at, actually. Oh, and this is for Wind? I forgot what your name is now. Wind in my sails. He had asked to actually take a look at our air production, so I'm going to bring it up over here. I need to send some screenshots of it later on, actually, as he's asking to try and give some pointers. So I'll just scroll down here slowly. We are going to be taking a look at how we can really optimize our production and really try and optimize our R&D, actually. I'd like to change a few things out, really. Specifically, I might consider dropping, potentially addition. I might consider dropping a few KI-84s potentially for other projects. But we'll see about that. Okay. Now, what I was talking about is I'm a little bit worried about how. I can see over here, like Naval Shipyard 1384. I think we are definitely using. We are using more shipyard points than we actually have available. So what I might consider doing is potentially de-accelerating one of the actual ships, perhaps. So I don't have enough as of yet. So if I take a look over here, then I'm going to have to go to a different screen. Oh, political points, that's a good one I can take a look at. I have 343 here available at the moment. We have been using them, which is why I'm kind of trying to conserve some. So when we do have the big battles over here in China, I could buy units out cheaper. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Naval Shipyard estimate 1732. So I'm going to take some ships off for acceleration, I think. So if we take a look at what's been accelerated. Right, now what I'm going to do then is... Well, actually, I could just have a naval. Yeah, Shinano's been halted. Hio will arrive on the 29th of May, 42. Let's see, how does this affect things? So looking at 1732 here at the moment. And we produced 13 something, wasn't it? So that's something that we do have to take into consideration, actually. Think I might leave it as it. I think I'll leave it as it is for the time being. I do need to do. I need to look that up actually. What we could potentially do then, if we take a look at the merchant yard, specifically only the CVAs. Right, merchant yard, 750. How much do we actually have in terms of merchant yard? I think we have an overabundance of merchant yard production. Shipyard, that is. I do have 5,000 points there in the pool there. So I think what we can do then in this moment in time is actually go ahead and accelerate these guys. Can't accelerate these guys as yet, but I can accelerate the production of these forces. And it doesn't even put it up that much. So I think we'll take a look at different things to potentially accelerate. 27th of May, 43. That is some time away. LSTs. I love how these things look. They look so cool. They remind me, I tell you what they remind me of. Have any of you guys ever seen Avatar, what is it now? The Legend of the Avatar. What is it? Aang, the Legend of the Avatar? Basically the Avatar. Then they really remind me of like the Fire Nation ships, and like as soon as I say that, you guys will be able to see, cause like look, you got that little pointy bit there. You got it looks like a ship of the Fire Nation. I swear to God, I think that's probably what they were based on, because they look exactly like this. I can just imagine a firebender on here. Oh dear. Right, what else do we have in the merchant yard? I might consider expanding the naval production. That is certainly something we can do. But the thing that puts me off doing that for the time being... Right, I'm going to have you accelerated. Surely these don't come under merchant yard production. They do? What? I didn't realize that light cruisers came under that. Kinda changes things pretty dramatically. Avatar the last down about there we go. Thank you very much there, Zoe. Right, what I'm going to do here, then. If I'm able to do so, then I will have these accelerated. They are Naval Shipyard. I thought they were Naval Shipyard. Oh, this is just showing me that tab then, isn't it? Right, okay. So if I go Merchant Yard. Right, that makes sense. I was thinking surely they can't be like... That would have been rather interesting. Okay. Right, we'll go with that for the time being, then. We'll have to see how that looks in the track event over the next turn. I think beyond that, more or less done here. There's a lot going on, but not too terribly much here at the moment. Though what I might do then is, we do have a H6K4s over here at Tarawa. I'd potentially like to move them out to Canton Island. We do only have 2 here at the moment. And I still have Jegs at Wake, so we're not doing bad over there. Well, I mean, this is it. The Naval Shipyard, we need to take an actual final look at, and then really figure out what we can accelerate and what we can't accelerate. We don't get a terribly accurate view, and the thing is, I don't want to commit to something quite yet and waste any points. So what we'll do then is we'll take a look at that in the near future, then. We'll take a look at it probably next turn. Right, a good few H6K4s of this way. I think what we're going to do then is I'm going to have these guys transferred over to Tarawa. Yeah. We are, well, that's it, isn't it, really? Right, move those guys over to Tarawa. And then going to move the Toko Squadron over to Canton Island. The reason being we have far more over here, which is exceptional. I really do want to be very capable in this area in terms of naval surge. The beauty is, it's like, if I was really to push it... Let's see, I mean, that's 18 hexes. We're not far out from the area. I may push it a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. But then again, that's going to be... I think that's the song, isn't it? Push it just a little bit. I'm sure that's the song. But if I push it to 25 and we start running reconnaissance over the island, it would be nice, but I think it would potentially alert him to the... Well, to the actual... Really to the... usage of said planes, really. So that may not be the best idea. We're detecting ships not too far out from there, so that's fine. I think we don't push it, really. Yeah. I mean, currently at Paramashiro-jima, we do have them in... Well, they're in naval search. I'm going to give them a reserve. That's nice. So yeah, they're in naval search out, let's say, to about that position there. And then we have naval search out at Midway, which is obviously 29 hexes away. It's not that far, really. I mean, there's obviously a band here in the center where we don't have any reconnaissance. But the beauty is, over in the north, I could probably sneak the... I mean, I could get the Shoho through there with an escort and some oilers relatively safely. It really is a different story for him. He could move ships through the center there. Obviously, he has to figure that one out. He could probably do that. He could probably figure it out, really. But he's moving for a very narrow band. And eventually, he would be picked up by our forces anyway. At least we could hope so. Okay. I think I'm going to look towards sending the turn back tonight. The reason being... we just need to get the turns going again, don't we, really? Just get that turnover. Get things moving, which is quite nice. I think we have gone through everything here at this moment in time. Moving these guys. We moved additional forces out this way. I could go for potentially more in the way naval search percentages there, but I don't want to risk it too much. I do want to keep those aircraft available. At a moment's notice, really. Right, the 8th Tank Regiment is over here now. What I'm going to do then is have them rest. I mean, a Tank Regiment could be very, very handy elsewhere. Question comes down to where do we actually make use of a Tank Regiment? You can imagine a Tank Regiment could actually play havoc over here in... Could you imagine if we had a Japanese Tank Regiment in Australia? It'd be brilliant. But no, they're more than likely going to be sent north to Java, really. That's probably where they're going to be made use of. I tell you what, I'm going to rescind what I said earlier, actually. Alright, they're going to be heading out. They really have priority. These guys, I'm going to give them the heavy cruiser. Mayoko. She's going to be placed in there as an escort. These guys are going to become a fast transport. How much could I potentially carry here? 2,000. That would allow me to carry the entirety of the 83rd Naval Guard. It might be worth it. I think it could be potentially worth it to move the Naval Guard unit over to Denpasar. I think we get it loaded, and then we go for it, really. I do have fighters in the area. I'm going to have Zeros over here potentially as well that I could maybe make use of, but I've got a decent number of Care for the Frees over here. We do have additional Care for 43s to the north. I think it might be worth doing. What I could potentially do then is have them approach from the south as well. I could even have them head for Samarinda. But I think we get them loaded up and then we make use of them, because they are just fantastic at this role. They're very handy at being able to move units pretty quickly, so I tell you what. It does hurt me to say that we'll be moving them in strategic mode. It could mean something of a disaster. But the island, it wouldn't be a shock attack on the landing. And there's only a few hundred men there. So I think we could get away with it. So we'll verify that loads. So yeah, we'll have them load up. What I'm going to do then is have them plan for Denpasar. I just think at the end of the day, we've got to get it taken. We've got to be aggressive in this area as soon as possible, really. And every delay... It doesn't help us. It just does not help us. So looking for the 83rd. Have them plan for Denpasar. But yeah, the sooner that we're able to take advantage of this position over here, the sooner that we're able to suppress Surabaya, the better, really. I might look at using the naval bombers to suppress Surabaya, having them escorted in by the KI-43s once we do have the range. I mean, we do have the range over there. Obviously, it'd be nice to be a little bit closer, well, a little more closely positioned, but something to bear in mind. So yeah, we'll get ready for that. We've got fuel moving into the area. We're doing well. We've got to be ever more aggressive. We're going to move out ever faster. I could even potentially use those fast transporters to take all these islands over here pretty damn quickly, to be honest. And that is something to really consider. But I think we go for Denpasar. What we could do then is actually head south. If we take a look here by pressing F6, you can see that I can actually approach from the south, from this side in the Indian Ocean, and I'd be able to land there pretty quickly. So it's one of those of Denpasar is 4 hexes over here, but then again, it's one of these, isn't it? I'm going to have to approach through this area. At least this way, I'm able to approach. I've got more freedom out there, really. We're not constrained by the geography, we're not as constrained by the possibility of submarine threats out that way. So that's something to bear in mind. Okay. See, I do have additional Jenks over here. I have a lot of additional aircraft I do need to make use of. Like, for example, the actual search squadrons do come in very handy. Due to the fact that I can actually have them sent out to act as, like, naval search or ASW. Kargi squadron over here, yeah, they're undergoing training. See, the thing is, it's going to take a very long time to build up this actual defensive ability. But it's worthwhile doing. Defense is really one of the best skills. I think beyond that, guys, I think we are done, really. We'll have ideally a night interception over here, which will be good. Right, stood down those guys at Kopang. I think I forgot that I did that off cam. Yeah, they're still running naval search, but they're running at 14 hexes. These zeros are running 40% combat patrol over here, then. Yeah. Well, we're looking like fatigue-wise. Okay. What I'm going to do, then, is just have these guys stood down for the time being. Have them on 100% rest at the moment. What I'm going to do is actually have one... You can actually see the numbers there change. I'm going to have one squadron actually in charge. Yeah, they're on maintenance. Right, yeah, there we go. We have the Zuho squadron. These guys are better suited for this. Using drop tanks. Flying 8,000 feet, 14 hexes, that's fine. These guys are in naval search. Yeah, we have the Jakes here as well, float planes. I said all float planes. Right, we have these guys here. No. And since I could build up my fighter numbers over here quite nicely. I might have the Ki-43 1Bs actually transferred over here to Rabaul, or even to Gazmata actually. I think I'll have them move to Gazmata. Can I make that distance? 31 hexes seems to be my max range. Typical. Oh, it's a bit awkward there on the distance, isn't it? That is a bit awkward, actually. I think it's probably better just to keep them in position, then. That's fine. Okay. So we moved out that G4M1 squadron. I do have the G3M2 squadron over here. I might have it shifted over to Bangkok to potentially be able to attack the ship in there, but I don't think quite so much yet. I may have it moved to Singkawang so we can actually... And it probably would be better at Singkawang, to be honest. If I take a look, what do we have in terms of aviation support at Singkawang? 30, but we do have an AV moving in there, so that's going to boost us to about 50 or so. I could move the G3M2s over there to Singkawang, which does mean I'm able to carry out escorted raids here quite nicely. Singkawang to Palembang is 9 hexes. Over here is 12, so I could shut down this area over here. 12 hexes, yep. Obviously, then if I was able to move over here, that's 11 to get another hex. But I think, yeah, we'll move the G3M2s over there. It means we can shut down this area. And I think then what I'll be doing is just launching the raids against Palembang. Try and destroy the actual ships there in the port. Or even just forgetting about them, really. But yes, I'm going to move these guys over to Singkawang. So they're now in Singkawang over here, which is excellent. Next turn, I will have them made active. We do have the Ki-43s over here, 30 of them and 4 in reserve. These guys are stood down. What I'll do is put 40% on combat patrol then, actually, just in case. Yeah. I don't need to have them using the drop tanks here at the moment. That's good news. So yeah, once these guys are available, we'll be able to start hitting Palembang. And I would like to hit Palembang. Potentially to clear the actual port in case we'd consider potentially landing there. It is upriver, and I really would have to check out the rules of, like, river usage. But it's more than likely it would just be typed in or starving. Or even, like, Batavia or something of that nature, really. Even 12 hexes is fantastic. I mean, I could potentially have zeros moved in there and made use of. But it gives us options. It does indeed give us options, and that is what we're looking for here within the Empire of the Rising Sun. I think most things are good. I think we are pretty much ready to undergo the end of the turn. Those additional tankers move in there. I do have the AVs over here, actually. That's really something to take into... okay, that's really something to take into consideration here. I might have some move down this way. It would allow us to obviously have the float planes used down that way. But is it essential? Potentially not. I'll tell you what, we'll have them move into truck this turn. Also disband once they do arrive. Also be able to refuel, etc. But I could have the actual AVs really made use of. I mean, what do I actually have aboard them, if anything, at the moment? So I've only got 6 float planes aboard them at this moment in time. So yeah, what we could do then... these guys are the... these are Kamikawa. Sanyo AV, these are ones we don't often hear about. Yeah, look at that. The beauty about these guys is I believe they can operate aircraft while underway. So what we could potentially do with these guys is use them really as cheaper float plane cruisers, or seaplane cruisers really. Pretty much effectively what they are. Obviously they would have been seen extensive, more extensive usage in the First World War. But we can definitely make use of them. But it would actually be very good for us to make use of these guys. We could have them positioned at different islands, and from there just set up shop and run naval search whenever the hell we liked. And that would be a nice ability. Like, for example, we could potentially leave one at Jarvis Island, let's say. Oh, just in the islands. Like, Maiden Island, Malden Island could be made use of. Gives that naval search between this area here if we wanted it. It's one of those. We could potentially make use of it. It would be dangerous, but it's something to bear in mind, really. We'll have to think how they could potentially support our advance. I could have them really operate with the Oilers, and then at least the Oilers do have some naval search, which does make them significantly more survivable, really. So that's something to bear in mind. But there's a lot of different uses. I'll have them head into truck then just to give us that additional aviation support over here at truck, as we desperately need it, really. Yeah, we really bloody do. Okay, so yeah, that'll come in handy. Okay, they're moving in there, but it's going to take them another day to arrive there as well. Patrol boats and subchasers moving there. Also, we do have additional warships on this way, on the way over there. These guys are going to stand down another day so we can rest and burn off that fatigue. He's probably going to be using his bombers again, so that's fine. I think what I'm going to do here then is look towards the other bases in the area. We have a fair idea what's going on there, but what I want to find out is where he's moved the other aircraft. So let's find out. And then there are other tempting targets as well to take a look at as well. Look at that, yeah, likely. I think that probably might be where he may have sent them as a size 3 base. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. It could be potentially useful to take a look at these Chinese bases over here. I'd imagine it'd probably have some sort of garrison, but who knows, we might get lucky. But, yeah, I think that's gonna do us for the time being, then. I could have these guys move down, actually. we'll discuss that one. We will get to a point at which we discuss where we're going to have these garrisons moved down. So we can definitely organise them in a significantly more efficient manner. We just need to have it planned out, really. Tempted. Do we have any... Well, we don't really have other aviation support out here. That's the issue, isn't it? I'm somewhat tempted to have those H6K4s moved out elsewhere, but I think they are doing a stellar job at Paramashirojima. We still have nail search over here at Wake, so that's not too bad, isn't it? It's going to be really interesting in the near future. It's going to be really, really interesting. It would be nice to potentially take one of these islands. Just like have one of the AVs rock up one of these islands out here or something like that. We'd have to try and find an island that was actually potentially useful. I could have it sent to Starbucks Island, for example. But yeah, let's say we have an AV rock up at one of those islands. We could then have a H6K4 land on that island. And we'd be then able to really, really make some good use of that. And who knows how that could be potentially factored into the fight. I think we're good to go. I'm conscious again to turn back to THG just so we can get the turns running a little bit faster this time around. So I think we'll go with that. So I'd like to say a big thank you here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for your support, and I'm so very thankful and humbled to have you guys come in here week in, week out. Obviously not as often lately, but it is what it is. It's going to be great. There's a bright future ahead here for the Empire, the Rising Sun, and let's see what we can do with it. So, of course, thank you so very much for watching. If you guys do enjoy my content, please do consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube at XTRG and on Twitch at XTRG as well. Much appreciated. And if you'd like to support myself as a content creator, you can do so by subscribing here on Twitch or actually becoming a Patreon backer, which is very, very helpful. All goes into the coffers of keeping the channel going. I do plan on having another artwork piece commissioned in the near future. We just need something really big to commemorate, and that'd be good. Maybe when we first hit our USN carriers, then we'll probably have that commissioned. Or some great victory in China, or elsewhere we'll have that commissioned. So I'm going to say a big thank you once again, and I shall see you guys in the next exciting phase. I'm going to have to think of a turn name. Actually, I realise I haven't thought of a turn name yet, so I'm going to keep that one a secret, and I'll post that in the Chrysanthemum Order Discord chat. Until next time, Tenno, Heika, Banzai.